Hello Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen and this is my fiber web where we talk about cross stitch. Sometimes I also share knitting and crochet, but today is just going to be cross stitch. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching this video. It has been quite a while since my last one. I haven't really planned to be away that long, but that's just what happened. I'm going to do a bit of a life update at the end for anyone who's interested, but in case you're new or you just want to see the cross stitch, I am going to start with that first. I have not, spoiler alert, I have not been stitching as much as normal for the last several months, but as of the beginning of this month, my stitchy bug is like fully back and I have made a ton of progress on stuff. So I don't have a lot of whips to show you that I have put work into, but I will show you what I have done. I've been focusing on just a few, so there aren't that many, but there is a lot of stitching. And then also I thought it would be fun today to do a sort of mini whip parade of my summery projects that I might try to get some stitches in before I get into the mood for autumn stuff. Today is July 18th. I believe it is Midsummer Stitch Weekend, but that is not part of my journey, so I'm doing this instead. So maybe you'll be watching this after Midsummer Stitch. If so, I hope you had fun. Or if you're like me and you're not attending, maybe this can entertain you in the meantime. Okay, and I also just wanted to say a quick shout out, thank you to everyone who has reached out to me to let me know that they are wishing me well and hoping the best for me and that they've missed me on Flosstube. It means the world to me. I appreciate you. That reminds me, I also had some stitchy kindness while I was away from Flosstube. I don't have that to share with you today, but thank you very much for those of you who felt the need to send me things. To cheer me up or to just be an awesome person or whatever. I appreciate you very much. Okay, so stitching. I have finished 3 things, I think, since I last saw you. So around the beginning of March, which I think is about when I filmed my last video, I stopped tracking my stitching, like entirely. I stopped using my spreadsheet. So there might be things that I worked on that I have forgotten about, but I think I got everything. So we're gonna do our best. So anyway, I have finished 3 things. 2 of those were round robin pieces that I do not have with me anymore. So I'll start with those and I will put in a picture. The first one is from the Carolyn Manning Bouquet All Day round robin that I started. I was in 2 of those, if you recall. This is the first one ended a while ago. The second one is still going. And I got the honor of finishing Jill, who is stitching books here on Flosstube. I got to finish up her piece, so I was the last one in the rotation. I got to do the last quadrant of the chart she selected, which was Peachy Keen. And I will hopefully have a picture up of that right here that you're looking at. I absolutely love this one, and from the moment that I saw that Jill picked it, I could not wait to work on it. So I was so excited to get to finish that one. I love the colors, and the design is sort of different to me than most of the other ones. Like it has a different element to the way that the motifs are arranged. So it kind of has like more geometric impact from further away, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I really loved working on that one. I don't even remember right now if Jill told us what the fabric was, or if I was stitching 2/2 or 1/2, I don't remember. But it was very satisfying to get to finish that. I shared my progress towards the end of that on Instagram. I did my tiny decisions wheel where I put all of the colors on the wheel and then I color completed based on what the wheel spun, which is always very motivating for me, and it seems like some of you like to follow along with that too. So that was very fun. And then the other round robin was for the Iconic Ink Circles round robin, which was hosted by Stitch X Love, Donna. And I got my piece back from that a while ago. It was Water Dragons. And so a bunch of us chose like those mandala style pieces that would have 4 quadrants and 4 people to work on them. But a few people chose bigger pieces that they wanted all 12 of us to work on, which is super cool. And so those are still floating around, I think. A couple of them, all 3 of them maybe, are still being worked on. One was Turtles All the Way Down, one was Little Alien Schoolgirl, and the one that I just got to work on, which was my last turn in this round robin. I've worked on everyone's thing that I need to now, was Another Year Creeps By which I will put a picture up of what it looked like after I finished it. I did the square that is in the bottom right corner, which is the bones. And I believe there were 4 squares left when it came to me, and I let my son, Gray, who's 10, I let him pick which one I would do. So that is the one that I did. When I opened that package up and looked at what all the stitching that had been done, I like audibly gasped. It is so cool in real life. I don't think, like, I had seen it when other people worked on it. They shared it on Instagram or on their Flosstube, and I had seen it and I was like, it's cool. It was so much cooler than I thought it was in person in real life. The combination of the fabric and the flosses that Heather picked were just gorgeous. It was very fun to work on. So I did those 2 things last month, I think, towards the end of the month, maybe. And then I accidentally cleaned up for the 4th of July weekend and put them away in my armoire and completely forgot to mail them out until Eli messaged me earlier this week and was like, hey, did you ever ship this? And I was like, oh, crap. So now they have been sent on. I don't have them anymore, which is good. And I have one more finish that I actually just finished last night to share with you, and that is a Cottage Garden samplings piece called Beesy Spring. And here it is. So I started this one, I don't know, a long time ago, and it sat for a long time with just the bee skip and the bee, and that was it. And then this was one of the first pieces that I got out and put in a hoop and put on my Lowry stand once I moved into this house, which happened at the end of March. And there were a couple days where I tried to work on it, but I did like 10 stitches and I just wasn't feeling it. So it sat on the stand for quite a while. Like, it just became part of my decor until I decided to finish it. So yeah, basically the sunflowers, and like just yesterday I did all of this, the crown and the queue. But yeah, I did this 1/2 on 40 count ancient by Picture This Plus, which I believe is the called for fabric for this series. And yeah, I really like it. I did think it was interesting that for most of the charts in this series, I think the designer only uses 1 or 2 overdyed, and in this, the only place you use overdyed thread was for the crown and the queue. Nowhere else. Everything else was just DMC, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there you go. I love it. So I was already looking at frames to put this in, and I had one that I thought I liked yesterday, but I looked at it again today and I'm not sure it's the right vibe. So I was going to try to see if I could get it fully finished before I filmed this video today, but that didn't happen. Okay, so those are the only things I've finished as far as I recall. I will also show you what I've been working on. So the first thing is my full moon stitch, which is 12 of the Clock by Kathy Barrick. So every time there's a full moon, there is a group of us who have like a group chat on Instagram who work on Kathy Barrick moons this year. Last year we did Tiny Modernist's Moon Phase Bell Pull, and this year we each chose different patterns by Kathy Barrick. So I will confess I have not worked on this every time that there's been a full moon, but I have worked on it most of them. And here is my progress. Sorry, I have a little, I can just take that out. So the entire frame is done, and I started on the roof of the house. Obviously I have the moon, he still needs an eye. And I filled in all the like grass down here. I've shared before that I didn't realize when I got this pattern, but inside the house, all those words, all that is over 1. And so I'm kind of just trying to get all of the over 2 stitching in, and then I will tackle the over 1. And I love this. It's all, I'm using all the DMC shades. It's probably charted in NPI and DMC since it's Kathy Barrick, but I'm just using the DMCs and I love them. It's only 6 colors. And what else? The border is a little bit irregular, so you have to kind of pay attention, but it does make it more interesting that way to me. It's not just a true pure repeat over and over and over again. And yeah, I love this. This is mystery linen. It's sort of a like a looser weave, like you can kind of see through it. And I'm doing it 2/2. I think it's 28 count, and I love it. Okay. And then kind of, oh, I just dropped, okay, I'll get that later. In a similar vein, that one that I pull out every now and again is my Wheel of the Year, which is from this Magical Cross Stitch book by Lindsay Swearingen, who is also Tuscan Cardinal. And I'm doing this pattern, the Wheel of the Year. I started it at some point because the Cassidy Audacity had the idea to like stitch each part of this on the celebration, and I had started mine already, and I decided to jump in with that to try and get it finished. So I am stitching this on a 28 count malachite linen, which I believe is fiber on whip. And here's where I'm at. So I'm pretty sure that since you last saw it, I added Beltane, which has the maypole, and this one for Midsummer. And I've sort of just been filling in the moon face as I go, because it is not super fun to do that. It's not white, it's actually ecru, but it's not super fun to do those stitches on this dark background because it shows all of your imperfections. And I actually did, last time I worked on this, I had to rip out part of the moon face and redo it, because I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but this is linen, and right along this side of the mouth, there's like one of those fat slubby pieces of linen vertically, and so it made the stitches wider and they looked really goofy, and I tried to like do some silly fudging things to fill it in better, and it made it look way worse. So I was going to try to be fine with it, and I'm like, oh, the moon has, you know, a surface that's not perfect, so it's fine. But I hated it, so I ripped it all out and redid it, and now it looks much better. So that's the story on that one. The next one for this, I believe, is coming up August 1st, the next section. So I will have that out again soon. And then, okay, this one I've put a ton of work into. It is technically a new start, but it was a while ago now. I just haven't filmed. This is actually the only cross stitch, anything that I have purchased since I last saw you, aside from the Year in the Woods Part 2 series that I had on auto ship already from Abby at Top Knot. So this is the only thing I've felt compelled to purchase. I have not bought fabric or floss or patterns or anything except this. And I am very excited to show it to you. Okay, I'm gonna put it on this little felt ironing pad thingy that I have. Okay. It's Snail's Hollow by the Stitch Crypt. So this is a currently ongoing mystery stitch along from Jen at the Stitch Crypt, and I started it a little bit late because so along with not stitching very much for a couple months, I also like was not watching any Flosstube. I was not really, I mean, I've been on Instagram, but I haven't been, I don't know, I've been more on the like reels and nonsense side than the stitching side. So like, I don't know if I even knew about this, and then I started seeing people's progress and I was like, oh my God, I need it. So I started late, and the fabric that I'm using for this is 36 count Portobello linen from Bestitch Me, which I thought was perfect because mushrooms. And that's a little bit better. It's like, I'm in a new house now, if you couldn't tell. So I'm still trying to figure out where I actually want to film and lighting, and I know the light's a little bit weird. It's like 11:30 a.m. and that side is east and that side is west, and so like I'm whatever. I need to I need to figure out where I'm gonna film. So this might not be the new permanent location, but anyway, what I was going to say is the colors look a little bit more vibrant on the called for fabric, which has a bit of a warmer tone than this. But also, this is one of those pieces where every time I take a picture of it, it gets washed out. Like the camera does not want to show it properly and it makes it look less good. So it looks pretty good right now. I mean, the colors are kind of more like, they're more like that. And when I show it this way, they get washed out a little bit. But anyway, I have thoroughly enjoyed stitching this. Once I got caught up, I was doing each little part when it comes out. So I like how small the pieces of this sail are. So the last two, this blue mushroom was part 11. This guy on the stump and the grass around it was part 10. And like this little skull in the grass, that was like one clue. And even this little tiny thing with these little finger mushrooms, like that was just one whole clue. So she gives you more time in between when they're bigger ones. So I think like the next part doesn't come out until the 24th or something. So we had more time to stitch this guy, but it was still quick. Like I got it done pretty fast. So I'm happy about this. It did take me a little while to get all these branches done. I sort of like, since I started late, I was able to like start putting in some of the motifs at the bottom and then do a little bit of branch, like eat your vegetables, like as I went. But it was nice to get those done. And she gives you the pattern keeper file, and so you can do the thing where you export your progress from the previous week or whatever and then import it into the new one, and it shows you what you have left, which I love. Oh, and I can show you, there's a lot of colors in this one, and they're bright and fun. And I have a bunch on bobbins as well. So I don't know if I've explained this before. I inherited 2 boxes of already bobbinated DMC from somebody who wasn't stitching anymore. And I've been trying to use those up when I can. And I don't put more on the bobbin, I just throw it out because I prefer floss drops. But when I'm looking for colors, I will check, I'll see if I have a bobbin first and try to use that. And so sometimes I have both in my projects. I don't know if you care, but that's why I do that. Okay, and then I only have one more WIP to show you, which is a full coverage piece by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I will tell you right now, it has a like mature content flag on it on the Unconventional X Stitch website. And I have stitched the not safe for work part. So if you don't want to see that, then you might not want to look at this. If you're new here, well, I'll put up part of what the pattern will look like. So it is like a woman sunbathing, and you can see her butt in the part. I've stitched the butt. I spent several days just stitching butt cheeks. So if you don't want to see butt cheeks, don't look at this. I'm about to show it. Okay, here's my progress. So I took this thing from like, I think it was at 7 or 8%, and now I'm over 30% done. So I have reached, so I started in the top corner. This is the bottom corner. And up here, it's hard to see my stitches because they're very light blue, but I have passed the halfway mark horizontally too. So it's landscape shaped, obviously. And I just trimmed the fabric since I made it to the bottom and made sure it would fit. And yeah, I think I worked on this like every single day in July until a couple days ago. Once I hit 30%, I put it away. And this is another one where the camera likes to wash it out, but there's like every color of the rainbow in here: pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And so I guess I could have just like not told you it was butt cheeks, and maybe you would think it was hills at this point. But anyway, I love the colors. It's very summery, and I was super into it. And this one is, I'm doing it 1 strand over 1 on 25 count, full cross. And I bought the kit from Unconventional X Stitch for this. I think I say this every time. They gave me a piece of fabric that was plenty big. Like I oriented it the opposite way of the piece of fabric they gave me so that I could have smaller margins and use the rest for something else. And they give you full skeins of DMC, so there's tons of extra thread. And it was just, I don't know, I know for a while they weren't doing kits. I don't know if they're back to doing them, but if they are, I think it's a great deal. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's everything that I've stitched on. I have been knitting a little bit, but I'm not going to show you that today because it's too hot for me to touch yarn. We've had a bunch of days with excessive heat warnings, like with the humidity, the heat index over 100 degrees. So it's been super hot, and then also we've had the smoke from the wildfires the last few days, which we're like on the edge of it, so I feel awful for the people that are closer to it because it smelled and tasted terrible. Ugh. Anyway, I can't touch yarn right now. I was going to share that I have decided to UFO a bunch of things, not a bunch, a handful of things. So I'm just going to show you the things I'm UFOing. A couple of them I would like to give away if anyone would like to adopt them, but those are at the end. So the first few I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep them because I want the fabric. So the first one I decided to UFO is called Love Thy Neighbor, which is a modern folk embroidery piece. And the lovely ladies at Roxy Floss Co. What is their Flosstube? Between two stitches? Between two. It's like Between Two Ferns, but something else. My brain isn't working. They started a stitch along for this when there were like weird things happening between US and Canada, I think. And I started it, and that's how far I got. I worked on it for one day, and I have not had the desire to work on it ever since. And it's on this quarter yard of something. I don't know what this is. I checked my spreadsheet and I just had it marked down as mystery linen, but I really like it and I would like to use it for something else. So I'm UFOing Love Thy Neighbor. I love the pattern. I love the color palette I picked. I just have never once wanted to stitch on it again, so I'm not going to right now. Okay, similarly, my friend Alex of Salix Stitches started this project. This is called Before I Sleep. It is by Long Dog Samplers, I think. And I saw hers, and I think she started it with some other people or something maybe, and I wanted to start it immediately, and I picked out my own color palette, and again, I worked on it for one day, and I have never once wanted to work on it again. I think with this one, I like the color palette that I picked, but I don't like how I've used it so far, and I don't think it's right for this pattern. And this is a piece of Bestitch Me. I'm looking, the tag fell on the floor, so I'm trying to, it's called Sandbar, and it is an 18 count Aida quarter yard. So I have it folded. So I want to rescue this piece of fabric and stitch something on it. And I like the Before I Sleep pattern. I don't want to do it right now, so I'm not going to. I'm going to UFO it. I hope to restart it someday with a palette that I actually like, or just a single color or whatever. Okay, next. This one is my own. This one is my own design. So I designed a pattern called SAF, Stitches Against Fascism, and I started it, and here it is. It's cute. This is on April Showers 18 count Aida from Bestitch Me. And again, like, I charted this myself, so I obviously suggested colors, but then when I got mine out, I picked some different ones, and I like this. I don't know which way is up. I don't think it matters. It's cute, but the whole idea behind this makes me sad and also angry, and I don't want to work on it. So every time I like look at my list of WIPs and I think about it, I'm like, ugh. So UFO, ugh. No, I don't want to make it. Which is not to say I don't still like the pattern. I do. My feelings about it aren't, sometimes stitching on stuff like that can be therapeutic. That one is not therapeutic for me. It just makes me feel bad. So if you purchased that pattern and donated money and you like it and you're stitching it, I appreciate that and I love that for you, and I'm glad that you get enjoyment out of it. It's just not working for me. So UFO. And then this is Cloister Garden, which is, this is the first section of the Mystery Stitch Along from Fox and Rabbit from 2024 or 2025, maybe one of the past years. And I have this silk, variegated silk from the one where the bag says like PR 507 or whatever, that place that I can't remember right now. I have no idea what number this is. I don't want to work on this. So I think I'm going to finish, like I'm going to make this into a little pillow or something. And this is a half yard of just like antique white, I think it's called, by Zweigart or whatever. So I was thinking I put it right in the middle because Cloister Garden is huge. So this is the center. So it's kind of annoying because I have this big old piece of fabric and it's right in the middle. But I was thinking I could just cut it up, make a pillow out of it, or leave it where it is, and if I have other small charts that I want to do on white that I want to make into ornaments or pillows or something, I can just use this for that, like indefinitely. That's the plan. Okay, and then this one, we've gotten to the ones that I want to give away now. So this is a Dimensions Gold Collection kit called The Finery of Nature. Sorry for the glare. I love this pattern. I love the motifs and the design. I think it's beautiful. I have the tiniest starts. I guess I should show you if I'm going to offer to give it away. Okay, I have the tiniest start, which you can't even see because... Okay, so this is like... I think it's the bottom of that nest that the dragonfly is sitting on. Can you even see any of this? I don't know. I don't want to work on this ever again. I was using all the kit stuff. I took the time to like braid the colors together on the little things. This has a bunch of metallic gold stuff. It has a ton of backstitch. It has, I don't know. I just don't want to work on it. If you want it, I will send you the whole kit. I'm not sure if anyone will want it. So if you do want this, please leave me a comment with the word dragonfly in it. And if there's more than one person, I will do a random comment picker and I will mail you this because I don't want it anyway. I would love it to go to a good home to somebody who actually wants to stitch it. Okay, and then this one is the same deal. This is a Dimensions Gold Collection Petite called Chickadees in Spring. And I have this much done. Is that the way it goes? I don't know. It might go this way. I think that's probably how it goes. I don't want to work on this. I don't want to finish it. If you would like it, I have all of the kit materials for you. All these threads are still on these two guys. And yeah, it's the light blue kit Ada. I don't have like the, I'm just keeping this in a project bag, so I don't have like the actual plastic thing it came in. But I will send you all that if you want. Leave me a comment with the word chickadee if you're interested in that one. Okay. So the rest of what I have to show you today is a Summer WIP Parade. So I'm not going to show you all of my whips. I'm going to show you all the whips that feel summery to me. And they are things that since I finished Beezy Spring, which by the way does not feel springy to me because it has sunflowers. Since I finished that one, I think I would like to pick something to focus on until I get into a fall mood or until I finish it. So I've become sort of monogamish, where after UFOing those things, I think I'm down to 86 whips. So I'm not a monogamous stitcher in that sense, but I have enjoyed like picking one thing and working on it until I can't anymore. So with Snail's Hollow, like I really enjoyed getting caught up once I started it late. And then once I got the Stitchy Bug back and I picked up Beezy Spring, I wanted to just keep that out until I finished it, and I did. I also kind of wanted to keep my unconventional cross stitch piece out. Like I was working on it and I'm like, I'll just get it to 20%. And then I'm like, no, I'll just do 25. And I'm like, let me just get it to 30. Like I would be happy to just keep working on that. So that might actually go back on my stand, but maybe I'll pick one of these other things. So I'm just going to show you, I don't know how many there are, but this is mini whip parade time. Okay, and I'm going to try to go kind of quick. I just want to share what I have that I always feel like almost all of my cross stitch is fall, but I do have a lot of summer stuff and I like colorful things. So anyway, the first one is Map of Hawk Run Hollow, which you tell me what you think. In my head, this was fall, but I looked at it and it looks like summer. There's like, right? Butterflies. There's this garden down here is flowering. I don't know. The sun is shining bright. There is, oh, I just saw there's like corn up here, like ears of corn. So maybe that's why. This is summer/fall. And let me show you where I'm at with this. Oop. Let me show you right side up. Here's my progress. So obviously I was trying to get a bunch of that hawk done. I don't know the last time I worked on this. Last year maybe? Okay. Another summer piece I have is called 4 Elements. This was a stitch along from Satsuma Street several years ago now. Here's how far I got. So there are 4 parts: water, earth, air. What's the other one? Fire. It would be nice if I could get the water part done. I bought the kit for this, so this is Cosmo Floss that I'm using. Here's all the bright fun colors. And this is black even weave of some sort, I'm not sure. Next summer piece is a study in pink by the Artsy Housewife. And here's how far I am on this one. This is on, I really like this fabric. It's like sort of a pink clay color. I don't know if I have the tag for what it is. If you want to know any of the fabrics or anything, please just ask me in the comments or message me on Instagram. I have it all in a spreadsheet. I just don't have it all in my brain right now. And this one I picked my own colors for. There's a silk in there, there's a cottage garden, there's some gentle art, it looks like, some DMC. So that one feels summery to me, and I think this might be my favorite project bag. Like ever. The next piece that it reads summer to me is Froth and Bubble. This is my Long Dog Leap Day start from 2024, and I'm way behind. I should be more than halfway done with this, and I'm not. But yeah, this feels like summer. This one is 2/1 on whatever this fabric is. And I ended up using mostly the DMCs because they were brighter than the overdyed. Next, I have 324 by Works by ABC. I started this, like, when it first came out. I think Abby Topknot was doing a, was it Abby that hosted that? Where you did one color a week or whatever it was. Anyway, I didn't keep up. This one feels summery and rainbowy to me, and this is on like a 16 count Ada, so it's definitely comfort stitching. It's just a lot of color changes, clearly. But that would be fun to work on while I'm still feeling summery. Next, I have the Blue Flower in Praise of Pollinators. I forgot how much I had done on this. This is on Ada. It might be 20 count or 18 count because I'm doing it 1/1. And now that I'm looking at it, I remember I messed up my counting somewhere in that like honey colored outline. But I think I decided I'd be able to just fudge it. And also I was not super happy with how visible my white stitches were, but I think it's fine. I still might consider outlining it, like backstitching around it or something, but I should keep working on this. Okay. It was in timeout for a while because of my mistakes, but I do still love it. And I have there's a few overdyeds called for on that one, and I have those. And the rest is DMC. Okay, next. Oh, I really want to get this one done. This one might be my next one. This is African Savannah Elephant from Lindy Stitches. This was from the Endangered Species Club, which released a new pattern every other month, I think. 2024 or 2025. And I wanted my elephant to be at night since the moon is out. So I'm using this dark linen. It's a mystery color, I think. And I love it. I have not had to change any of the called for flosses, and I think they all look fantastic. And he's gonna go on this side because I think I might want that to be my next project now that the bee is done. Okay, this one is another stitch along that I joined and didn't keep up with. This is Hannah Atwater by is it by Mama Loves You GB? I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen if it's not. I'm doing mine on Kiwi. I love it. This is another one where it's a very different color choice than the model, but I adore it on this color. And again, I did not have to change any of the called for shades. They're all DMC. I think there's only like 8 colors in this. I love it, I love it. Ooh, I want to work on this too. Okay. This is going, maybe I should make a pile of things I definitely want to work on this summer. Okay, what else do we have? This one is a Creative Circle kit called Cottage Quilts. So it's this, not this. And that feels very summery to me. I really want to get to those ducks. And this way. Here's where I'm at. So if I make it to the bottom of either of these quilts, I could start a duck. Do you see where the ducks are? I guess I could probably easily get to a duck from this one. Maybe I'll try to do that. Oh my god, everything's gonna go in the same pile. Okay, next, this one was my birthday start 2 years ago, maybe. It's Sarah Spencer from Hands Across the Sea, and that's all the further that I got. I did do a color conversion for this, so mine is, I think the flowers are supposed to be pink and mine are orange, because I just thought it looked better. I like orange. This is on a Roxy Floss Co. Fabric, Roxy, whatever that's called. I don't know which one it is. Okay, next, this one is one of my own designs. That's not released yet. It is called Other Lands Sampler. It is based on some books. Here's, oh gosh. Here's how far I got. I want to work on this too. Okay. Yeah. Feels summery, right? See, this is why I was enjoying just stitching sort of monogamously. Like, I forgot about a bunch of my whips, but that was sort of a good thing because then I could just stay focused on a couple. But now I want to work on all the things again. Maybe this was a bad idea. Just kidding. Okay, my next whip is My Flowers from Boomerang Stitches. I started this ages ago. This fabric is not an even weave, so my flowers are a little bit taller and a little bit skinnier than they should be, because it's like 40 count in one direction and like 32 in the other. And I picked my own colors, and they're all in this bag. And this would not take me long to finish. This one also kind of sits on the fence for me between summer and fall because of the color palette. Okay, next one is Yesterday's Dream. And again, I don't know what season this is. This one also feels sort of like late summer, early autumn, and I think it's just because Yesterday's Dream feels like reflecting on yesterday, and autumn feels like a time for reflection to me, I guess. I don't know, or it's the color palette. I think I was supposed to work on this earlier this year because Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe and I were doing a stitch along, but I did not work on it. That's how far I got. This is a fabric that I got in some sort of D-stash. It's called like sponged something. It's plain white on the back, and then kind of like vintage country mocha, but it's not. And yeah, it's some sort of even weave. I'm doing it 2/2. And I really enjoyed working on this when I had it out last year. Like when I started it, I was like, I might just keep working on this till it's done. But I didn't do that. Oops, I just dumped that one out because the bag was upside down and open. This one was a start, a more recent start. This is I Like Cross Stitch by JetX Stitch. This was for Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, Julie's birthday start. And that's how far I got. I'm also doing this on an obnoxious green. This is Kiwi as well, but it's not as bright as the one for Hannah Atwater, because Hannah Atwater is on linen and this one is Lugana. So it didn't dye quite as neon, quite as like acidic of a green. Notice how I'm just putting everything on this side now. Okay, this is Flower Dragon Meadow, which was a mystery stitch along from Flossy Fox Shop. Oh my god, I love it. Again, this one I decided to go a little bit darker with the fabric, so do something a little different. This is a Bestitch Me called, we don't know what, it was must have been a Friday Night Fight Night one, no name. And it is an Ada, what count? 14 count, so it's 2 strands over 1. I love this so much. It is so bright. It is so happy. This one sits on the fence between spring and summer for me. So it would be great to do the next section, the next dragon. I think the next one was up here. And obviously I don't have to go in order anymore because it's all released, but I like to, usually I like to finish stitch alongs in the order, even if I'm late. Okay, next is Put a Bird on It from Modern Folk Embroidery. This was also a stitch along. I can't remember who hosted it. They broke the pattern up into 12 sections and wanted to get it done in a year. Obviously I chose my own colors and I'm using NPI silks for this. Is that true? No. I have some Soie d'Alger and some NPI. Which I'm remembering now, the two that I have different thicknesses, so some of this is 2/2 and some of it's 1/2. Maybe, sorry, the window in the background is messing me up a little bit. That's better. So pretty. But I do not feel compelled to work on this immediately, so I'm going to put it in the other pile. This video is getting long. Okay, this one is not strictly a summer piece, but I want to get it done, and I might just work on it now. This is Mini Bouquet Booklet, I think is what it's called now, by Jeanette Douglas. It was in like 2022, maybe. She released one of these each month for free, but now I think it's a paid for pattern booklet. You can buy all of them. So I have 7 months done. So when August rolls around, I would like to do the next bouquet, but I was thinking about seeing if I could get all the borders done like now, so that I don't have any excuse not to finish this by the end of this year. So this one is also, I want to get the borders done. Okay, there's 2 things left in this basket. One of them is another full coverage piece. This one is, I don't remember who the artist is, but it was charted by Heaven and Earth. I'll put the picture up and the artist name. Here's how far I am. Based on the color palette in this, it looks like fall, but the whole picture reads very summer to me. There's like a bunch of ferns and there's like a bird. Ferns and bird mean summer. I don't know, that one feels summer to me. Okay, and the last one that was in my list for summer was the Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. I started this one with Wendy from Matrix Stitcher at some point. I don't even remember when. Here's how far I got. I think that variegated bluey green thing is a Pirate and Robin thread. And yeah, this one's not going in the work on soon pile, but I do love it, and someday it will have its turn, but it's not right now. Okay, so that was my summer WIP parade. I do not have any new plans of any sort. No, I don't have any plans for any new starts of any sort. I started this year thinking I was going to try to kind of get as many finishes as I could and stitch from stash, or not even stitch from stash, I guess. Like, I don't think I officially said I wanted to do a no buy, but I kind of just started doing one anyway because things changed. So I guess that's all the stitching. If that's all you're here for, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to switch to life update at this point, since I have been gone for a long time and I feel kind of bad about it. So I wanted to fill you in, those of you who are returning viewers who may have been wondering what happened to me. So we will start that life update portion now. So I am living in a new house. The boys and I moved here around the beginning of April, which is also when my divorce finalized, which was exciting, but also, you know, all of the things. So we live in a town now that's like in the same school district. We're like one town over, like 20 minutes from the house we used to live in. But none of my kids remember living anywhere other than that house, so it was a big deal to move here. The good news is everyone settled in pretty quickly. This house is, I think it's roughly the same size as the other house, but the layout is much better for us. So my oldest son, Reed, is starting freshman year of high school in a couple weeks. Oh my God. He has his bedroom in the basement. The basement's fully finished. So he has a bedroom down there. And then there's also like a family room sort of situation with a wet bar. There's a full bathroom down there, so he has his own shower and all that stuff. So that has been really nice. He appreciates having his space. And then upstairs, we have my bedroom, and then Gray and Cole each have their own room. And then there's one more room that's called a bedroom, but it's like the smallest room, and it has like weird carpet. I think they might have used it as an office before. And that's my craft room. So I have a craft room now with a door that I can close. It is sort of jam-packed with stuff. So I have yarn in there, I have cross-stitch stuff, I have like board games and puzzles. I started doing some Lego sets recently. I got the giant Lord of the Rings. Jesus, why is my mind just went completely blank. Where the elves live. What is it called? I can't think of it right now, but I've been doing Legos up there. I bought, it was advertised to be a kitchen island, but I bought that and I put it in the middle of the room, so that's like my craft table in there. So it's counter height, which is really nice for like ironing and stuff, and just working on Legos and, you know, whatever, cutting fabric, whatever I need to do. There's a little built-in desk in the corner of that room where I have my sewing machine. I can't get to it still because that is the only room that still has some boxes in it that are not unpacked. I was able to like move in, get settled, and unpack almost everything pretty quickly here, but that craft room is the one area that's the exception, just because there's so much stuff. I have so much stuff. I have diamond painting stuff, a bunch of yarn. I have, oh, I also, in the last couple months, did some of those like miniature room thingies. I don't know what you call those. The company is Rolife that I ordered them from, like Rolife. And they're just literally miniature rooms or miniature shops. So I have that stuff up there. So it's a lot of stuff in a small room. I have all of my shipping things. I have a bunch of frames for cross stitch that I haven't used yet. There's just a lot of stuff, and there's not necessarily a home for all of it. So it's nice, but it's still a little bit, it needs some work. So anyway, the boys have settled in well. Cole and Gray have their own rooms upstairs. They have their own bathroom up there. I have my bathroom. Reed has his own. Reed and Gray both played travel baseball this summer. So this was Reed's 4th or 5th year playing travel baseball, and it was Gray's first. So that was a busy couple of months. So let's see, their games started mid-April, and then they just wrapped up their season at the beginning of July. So there was a lot of times where they both had weekend tournaments, or they both had games on the same day in different towns and all of that. So that was fun. They both enjoyed their season. They liked their team and their coaches, so it was a good time for everyone. And then Reed just had his last tournament last weekend, actually, and now, Thursday he had his first mini band camp. So I had to go drop him off at the high school for the first time for like an actual high school thing. Like, I've dropped him off there before, because when he was in middle school, the band concerts were at the high school auditorium. So I've dropped him off at the high school before. But Thursday was the first time that I dropped him off at the high school for a high school event. Like, he's officially a high schooler now. And I did not expect that to hit me so hard as it did, but I like kind of started crying on the way home, like a dork. And he's like, "Mom, what's your problem?" Because I told him after. But anyway, super proud of him. He's having a great summer. Some of his best friends live in this town that we just moved to, so he actually hasn't been home a whole lot. He's out with his friends. He's riding his bike. They've had a lot of sleepovers at their house, at our house. There's plenty of room for the kids in the basement. So it's really nice. It's been really good for him. Gray is going into 5th grade, so his last year of elementary school, and he chose to finish his elementary school career out at the elementary school by our old house. So technically he should be going to the school that is right next door to this house, like literally right out my window. But they decided that they had enough space and they could let him finish out his elementary school career at his school where he has all of his friends and he knows everybody. So that's nice. The only thing is, since we're out of the range for that school, we have to provide transportation, so I have to drive him to school every day. But that's how we finished up the last school year as well, since we actually moved in here during spring break. So after spring break, he stayed at his school and I just drove him to school and picked him up after. And then Cole is in public school as well already, because he has an IEP, so he gets special education preschool for free through the school district. And the way that worked out is he was already going to a school in this town that I live in now, because they only offer preschool at one of the elementary schools in the district, and it happens to be one that is 4 minutes from my house. So he will keep going there. He has one more year of preschool and then he will be ready for kindergarten. So he'll be turning 5 in the fall. Gray will be turning 11 and Reed will be turning 14 right before, well, mid-August. But yeah, everyone is doing really well. It took me, I think part of the reason I wasn't stitching is because it was a big life change, right? And it took me a while to kind of figure out how the new routines were going to work with everybody here. And it was sort of just a whole revamp of like how I spend my time as a human being, because I am now a single parent. I mean, I was for a while before we moved here, but now it's officially divorced on my own, in my own house. So it's been like a lot of things have shifted sort of gradually, just mindset wise, about like what I'm doing and what I could be doing and what I should be doing and all of that stuff. So I don't really know how that relates to stitching, aside from I wasn't really in the headspace to stitch for a while, but now I am again, and I'm excited to be back. And I hope, especially since school is starting up, my kids go back August 12th. So there's only a few more weeks, and then once they're in school, I definitely want to be filming regularly, like every other week probably. And right now, part of what happened when we moved out is their dad actually moved back into the house that we were living in. So he still owns that, but I'm not on the lease anymore, or not the lease, the deed. Anyway, he still lives there, and now that he has space for the boys again, he does take them every other weekend. So this weekend they're with their dad, and so that means I do have some time on the weekends. So I might be filming on the weekends until school starts and then switch to a weekday. That's more for me than you. I'm just talking out loud now. Talking out loud, thinking out loud. Okay, so let me know what you think of this filming location and the lighting, if it was too weird. Also, I got a different microphone. The only thing that I've had consistent comments about on my YouTube channel is not being able to hear me. So let me know if it's better or worse or neither, if you can't tell. And yeah, let me know if any of those summer projects, if you would like to see more progress on any of those, and maybe I'll put some stuff on a wheel for the rest of this month and next month. I don't know. Nobody knows what I'm going to do. I just started trying to catch up on some Flosstubes just this past week. So just checking back in with some of the people I used to watch all the time. And, I was watching Laura from Lality Stitches, and she was saying, oh, I'm going to make these plans and maybe do 50% of them. And I feel like I don't even know if I do 50% of what I plan. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just happy to be stitching again. I'm happy to be back here. I hope that you have been well. I know it has been a weird and rough time for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons this year. So I hope that you're taking good care of yourself. I hope that you are finding some time to do what brings you joy. And I hope to see you again soon. And thank you so much if you watched all the way to the end. I appreciate you very much. Okay.